Spring-Heeled Jack is an English cryptid, often described as so named because of his ability to bound effortlessly through the air. Spring-Heeled Jack was greatly feared by residents in suburban London during the 1830s, a diabolical superhuman of sorts. He was usually described as being very tall, thin, and cloaked in a tight-fitting outfit with a flowing cape. Jack gained notoriety when he was known for accosting solitary young women by ripping at their clothes with steely hands while he breathed obnoxiously. It supposedly had blue flames which he breathed on the victims. To this day, no one is sure of Jack's true identity, nor from where this notorious scoundrel came from. Sightings still continue, and it's gaining more fame. Early Spring-Heeled Jack illustrations. The Spring-Heeled Jack is a cryptid that was sighted in England. The first accounts of Spring-Heeled Jack were made in London, England, in 1837, and the last reported sighting is said in most literature to have been made in Liverpool in 1904. The first report of Jack was from a businessman late one night from work, who told of being suddenly shocked as a mysterious figure jumped with ease over the high railings of the cemetery, landing right in his path. No attack was reported, but the submitted description was very disturbing. A muscular man with devilish features, including large and pointed ears and nose, and protruding glowing eyes. Perhaps the best of the alleged incidents involved the Spring-Heeled Jack, who was attacking two teenage girls, Lucy Scales and Jane also, which were reported widely and covered by local newspapers. Jane also reported that one of the nights of February 19th, 1838, she answered the door of her father's home to a man claiming to be a police officer, who told her to bring a light, claiming that we had caught the Spring-Heeled Jack here in the lane. She brought the person a candle and noticed that he wore a large cloak. The moment she had handed him the candle, however, he threw off the cloak and presented a hideous and frightful appearance, vomiting blue and white flames from his mouth, while his eyes resembled red balls of fire. Miss Alsep reported that he wore a large helmet, and that his clothing, which appeared to be very tight-fitting, resembled a white wool suit. Without saying a word, he caught her and began tearing parts of her clothes with his claws. She screamed for help and managed to get away from him and ran towards the house. He caught her on the steps and tore her neck and arm with his claws. She was rescued by one of her sisters, after which her assailant fled. 19th century sightings. Mary Stevens. In October 1837, Mary Stevens, while on her way to Lavender Hill through Clapham Common, was attacked by a cloaked figure who leapt at her. Then, while grappling her, he sexually assaulted her and tore off her clothes. As the girl screamed in horror, the assailant fled from the scene. Despite there being searched, no trace of him was ever found. The very next day, the Spring-Heeled Jack was seen in Mary's neighborhood, where he jumped over a coach, causing the coachman to lose control and meet with an accident. He then gave out a horrific screech of laughter and made his getaway by jumping over a 9-foot tall wall. As the victims of Jack grew in number, Sir John Cohen, the mayor of London, made a public announcement in which he read out a lengthy complaint from concerned citizens, which including various accounts of Jack's assaults. In February 1838, Jack assaulted 2 more young women. A new wave of sightings took place a few years later in the 1870s. In August 1877, at the Aldershot Barracks in North Camp, Central Road, a sentry came across a strange figure who advanced towards them and slapped him several times in the face. A guard shot at him, but with no avail. The figure then disappeared mysteriously with astonishing leaps. In 1888, in Everton, North Liverpool, the Spring Hill Jack was seen on the rooftop of St. Francis Xavier's Church. In 1970s, the inhabitants of Addercliff and Shipfield complained about a red-eyed figure who punched women. He was rumored to jump between rooftops and walk down on the sides of the walls. In February 2012, Scott Martin and his family was traveling in a taxi when he saw a dark figure run across the street and climb a riverbank. In seconds near Nescod College, a will bypass, and all of these reports seem to continue. Always a mysterious figure, harassing people, and then jumping and running from sight. I want to know your opinion. Is the Spring Hill Jack a real creature, a real person? Is it a mysterious prankster? Who is it?